I'm Hawk Newsom, and this is BLM NY TV. Today, I'd like to introduce you to the sisters of Black Lives Matter of Greater New York and allow you to understand who they are and understand the people who are out here fighting for you day in, day out, phone calls, emails, meeting with victims, traveling all over the city, and just spreading the good word, fighting for black liberation. I think that you should see the faces of this movement. To my right, I have a sister named Elucia Frances.
Yes.
She's going to tell you a little bit about herself.
Well, basically, I came into the movement because I'm curious and I'm compassionate, and I fought with this one over one of his campaigns, and I was really vigilant on social media about how I felt, and we met actually in the dollar store. He was getting ready for a big march with students, and I was getting ready for an event, and that's where grassroots activists actually meet, at the dollar store. And in that conversation, we both shared a love for, one, black people, black liberation, and our voting power, and understanding that our vote is power and that we need to start educating our community on voter literacy. And so I took him to task. I said, let me see what he's all about. Let's see how this goes. Not but a month later, I said, well, we're gonna do a youth empowerment through social action workshop. I want you to come. I'm gonna educate. I'm gonna get trainers. We're gonna work with our students who are 16 to 24 years old in this city, and we're gonna see what we can do. Beautiful day. Students learned about voter engagement, voter participation. They learned about voters' rights, voters' voice, and they actually came up with their own demonstrations based on the things happening in their communities. And I said, you know what? From the speech, from the content, we can work together.
Right on.
We can work together.
Right on.
We can work together.
And the rest has been history, or history in the making. This beautiful sister right here is Catasia Williams. Catasia, please tell them about your education, your background, your kids, and what brought you into this movement.
What brought me into this movement really was the Trayvon Martin situation. It broke me. I couldn't handle it. I didn't want to speak about it. I did not want to read about it. I could not stand to look at an image of his face on television. I would literally turn away and hide. One day I'm scrolling through the internet and I came across Dr. King's quote, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter." And I took that so literally. I've never felt, it's a lot. Doing this work is a lot. I like to sleep. They don't. I've been up to 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. I'm a mom. It's still getting all of this done, but I did take that quote very seriously. And I was with Erica, Elucia, and Hawk walks in the room. I'm like, okay, no more hiding, game over. You know, we can't, we have to be accountable to one another. We have to go back to a time where we really build community and solidarity amongst ourselves. If we don't do it, no one else is going to do it for us. And I can't, you know, I have a master's degree. I like academia, things of that nature.
We all do.
But I can't continue to write about it. I can't speak to my children about speaking up and standing forward, standing up for yourself, and don't let anyone do anything to you. Don't let society label you. When I was sitting back and it's like, okay, oh damn, they shot another one. Okay, I have a son. I'm the mother of a black child. And I can tell you, I've already had nightmares about the NYPD getting my son. Unfortunately, it is a reality.
Right on. Right on. And thank you on behalf of the people that you fight for. And personally, I thank you for all the work that you are doing. This next sister, Kamla.
Hello, how are you?
I want to tell you a little story about. The night I met Kamla, I was at a fundraiser for a mutual friend of ours, and she had a platter of food in her hand. She was helping out. And a white gentleman who was on the elevator with us said something in a condescending manner to her, and she was like, "Well, sir, I'm the CEO of my own company, and XYZ, XYZ, XYZ."
Right.
And broke him down until he felt about this big, and I was like, wow, that's a strong sister. And the basic premise was, no, I'm this woman, I'm this professional, I'm this mother but I'm here helping out a friend. And I think that's important because that's what community is about. So please introduce yourself to the folks.
Absolutely. My name is Kamla Millwood. I'm a wife. I'm a mother of a 5-year-old. I am the founder and CEO of my own children's book publishing company and also video game publishing. I also am a public spokesperson for Green Earth's Poetry Cafe. I am also an employment specialist for Friends of Crown Heights and Wingate Park. And I am the director of communications for Black Lives Matter of Greater New York. I felt the need to be part of this movement because Black liberation is something that should be all of our responsibilities.
Right.
It always says it takes a village to raise a child. But what happens when the village looks away? What happens when the village does not care? What happens when the village sits and watches television where people are being lynched on camera saying, I can't breathe, and you don't stop?
Right.
What happens? There comes a point in which we have to be responsible for our own. There comes a time in which we have to actually be the voice of the voiceless. So I felt the importance of being a part of this movement because you are doing something in the community that many are afraid to do. What people tend to do a lot of times when they don't understand something is to give it a label that doesn't belong there. They'll try to say things like, oh, that's a black supremacist group, or that's just like the Klan, oh, that's a terrorist group. We're none of those things, none of those things. As a matter of fact, it's such pleasurable thinking for me when I think of the first walk I ever did.
Yeah.
Where it was the Martin Luther King Jr. Youth March of 5 boroughs. The youngest member of our group was a 5-year-old girl.
Yeah.
5-year-old Caucasian girl.
Yeah.
Saying, all lives will matter when Black lives matter. Now she gets it at 5 because racism is taught, hate is taught. Now these children are our future. They know it. We just need to have other people know it as well. We're getting labeled, we're getting people following us, we're getting threats coming to our way because we are catalysts of change.
Yes.
And when you're catalysts of change, you will have opposition coming your way. When they stop talking about you, you know that you're not doing what you need to be doing. Because they are talking about us, because they're trying to stop us, we are a movement that is going to continue going forth and forth and forth. We're not waiting around for people to cover stories that are priority items for us.
Right on.
We are bringing those stories to the forefront.
Right.
We're doing what needs to be done behind the scenes to bring the point of 64,000 missing Black girls to the forefront.
Yeah.
I was watching the other day a television news show, and there was a dolphin that was missing. And the dolphin got 25 minutes of coverage. A dolphin. What does that tell you, folks? What does it tell you what's important right now? The life of a dolphin. And the animal rights people were right out there protesting because this dolphin was missing until it's finally found deceased in murky river water. Well, guess what? We're about human lives.
Right.
We're about Black lives.
Right.
That are missing.
And I'm not trying to get snatched. And I'm serious about that. This has got me hyper vigilant. I'm watching everything that I see. I'm questioning everything, every answer why a young kid's head's on the table in a classroom. I want to know why. I want to know where that person was last night. I want to soothe them. I want to give them a place of safety. I want them to feel like they can connect to me. I want them to talk to me. I want to be that person that listens to you for 3 hours uninterrupted, not the pimp.
You know, when I founded Black Lives Matter New York, I had this vision, right? And pretty much, I view Black Lives Matter as an alarm clock to America. And it rings with the names that people sleep on, that they want to forget, right? So this alarm clock would say 64,000 missing Black women. This alarm clock would say Deborah Danner was killed in her home by a police officer who was breaking his rules of engagement, right? This alarm clock is just waking people up. That's our job. That's our job, to educate our community. This alarm clock says, hey, your elected officials aren't serving you in the proper manner. So this is what we do. This is our purpose. And what I want to ask you all next is, why do you think it's important for people to get involved even though they look back and they say, hey, Black Lives Matter is not my thing, marching is not my thing.
The thing about it, I was from that school, right? Why do I march? And for the MLK March, it was a symbol of the last march. It was a symbol of understanding that we can unify. Can we unify? We did a single file march. And it was really important that we stayed in single file to show, one, that we are in solidarity, that we can move together. And it was beautiful to do it that way. And I think a lot of times we don't want to be led by someone. We don't want to say someone's a leader. And you know what, to be honest with you, in this movement, it's a very collaborative effort. We work with everybody. We work with stakeholders. We work with experts. We work with lawmakers. We work with ex-cons, police enforcement, to really get at the root cause of the problem. And so when we talk about black on black violence, because that's always what comes back to us, is that, no, actually Black Lives Matter Greater New York is dealing with the violence within our community. We know that half of the things that you hear about that are sensationalized in the news come from a root cause, and that cause is oppression, generational oppression, systematic. What is it? You know, the slave, traumatic slavery syndrome. This stuff is really real, and so what happens is, as Catasia said, we've been looking away. But you know what? I'm scared sometimes to look it dead in the face. I'm scared to find out that your father molested you? Your mother sold you? I'm not saying that we don't have a responsibility. We really do, and that's why this is important. This group is important to bring those issues because we want to liberate. We do our meetings in churches. We go in your community centers. We want to be places in the city and move around so that you can always feel us. Last week, people found out that we were downstairs in the church, and they came and joined us for a community conversation on sex trafficking with the lead experts in the field. GEMS, National Director Tanya Tucker. You got Tony D. Rivera, Helping Hands, okay? You have a sexpert, Michelle Hope, dealing with sexology and talking about how education reform could really help in the sex trafficking game. We're looking at it from all angles. We need you to come with your expertise.
Right on. Kamla,
Yes.
you are a very eloquent sister, and I would like for you to talk about when we were out doing our voter education, voter literacy drive in the South Bronx on 149th Street.
Well, that was really an eye-opener for me. I don't want to say that I'm sheltered, but I would want to say that I came from a middle-class family. I live in what's considered a middle to upper-class neighborhood. And just being in that particular area, we're trying to educate the community about the importance of voting. What I noticed was the majority of the community were high. They were on drugs. It floored me. I was so baffled. I was so confused. I couldn't understand. We're standing here in the great US of A. And I'm saying, sister, please take this. You know, read about, who you should vote for. And, oh, you got $1? I couldn't believe it. I was so moved by a lot of the people coming to me asking for money. This one says they're hungry.
Right.
This one says they need a Metro card. And I said, well, if you're hungry, what do you want to eat? I will buy you the food. No, just give me the money. This one says they need a Metro card. Okay, I have a Metro card. Take it. No, just give me the money. A lot of the people that we tried to reach out to were already lost. Were already gone. Oppressed with souls that are just being broken. And I thought, how are we to reach the masses? How are we to reach the community? If there's a block there, if there's an addiction, if there's a problem that no one is solving, who is in charge of that area? Who's helping that area?
I think, realistically, it's us. We are the helpers. We are the folks meeting people where they are. People make token gestures to show that they're doing the work in the communities, but we're really out there. And the reason why I chose that particular corner is because that's where the dope fiends hang out. That's where the worst of the area, the most downtrodden, I guess you would say, that's where they hang out. That's where they congregate. So we're going to bring our message to the people. Let's start there at the heart of it, where people need us most. It was a parable in the Bible. and they asked Jesus a question. Well, why are you with these people, right? And he said something to the effect of, does a doctor go to a place where people are well, right? Or does he go to the place where people are sick, where they need them? That's how we have, and they have to understand that there are people who look just like them, people who may be in their current situation, people who may be doing a little bit better than them, but they need to understand that no one has forgotten, right? That we definitely, Black Lives Matter New York, has not forgotten them. It takes me back to our turkey drive. When we had a fundraiser on Tuesday, we gave away dozens of turkeys on that Friday, right before Christmas, right? Because most people who give away turkeys in the neighborhood, here it is, the politicians, they order the turkeys to a nonprofit. So the turkeys are then donated. So they're not coming out of pocket, okay? You have celebrities who come, and when you see the celebrities, it's the token thing to do, right? Nick Cannon helps us out. He's a member of Black Lives Matter New York, but he's not about the token gestures. If he helps out, it's behind the scene. But people buy turkeys for the hood and then come and look, news cameras, look, I got a couple of rappers with me, a few DJs, we're in the community. We're helping out. It's not about that. So we took those turkeys to a corner in the Bronx, next to Yankee Stadium, where a lot of the homeless folks hang out, where a lot of the folks who have substance abuse problems hang out. We gave away turkeys and toys right there. No cameras, in the dark, where people are usually scared to come, right? And that's what it is. Like, yes, if you roll with Black Lives Matter, you will be in the hood.
But the thing about it, I think what really makes us even more special, the vehicle, as we're gaining momentum, is that we're looking at sustainability. So what's going to sustain us that we can always give those turkeys and start getting people in homes and look at drug addiction, it's a disease, right? And so we've got to understand when you relapse, what are the triggers, right, that cause the relapse? That you don't just go back to drugs after you haven't done them for 10 years for no reason. There are triggers and there are things and root causes that we've got to get underneath. And some of that is meeting your needs and dealing with that law, dealing with the people that turn you away, dealing with people that basically are looking at you to make a quota, but they really haven't met your needs. And so how do you come and tell us what your needs are? How do you say, you reach out to us, you Facebook us, you find us, you just say, look, I think I have a problem, or I think I saw something, or I think I can help you, I think I have some information. That's how we work. And I think that's how we work well, we work quickly, we work on the scenes, but it requires from you all a level of truth, a level of courage, and I also think a level of responsibility.
Right on.
We don't like to give information to sensationalize anything. We want to make you aware, but we also want to provide you with resources. So when you look at our website and you look at our Facebook, we're giving you stats, resources, places you can go. We're not opening up the womb for sex trafficking and then closing it back up. We're going to continue conversations. Tony Rivera wrote a book, which I'm on chapter 5. It's exciting, but it's also scary. And then you understand where it all comes from. But we want to do a book reading in the Black community, in Black-owned bookshops, so that we can bring the community in for more conversations. And we're going to continue. We're looking at education. Some of the schools that I work with, we're saying, good point made on Saturday. Let's look at our sexuality education curriculum, not sex education. We're not teaching kids how to have sex, but we are talking about how do you become gender informed? How do you deal with boundaries? How do you understand your anatomy? That's important stuff. That's when you start changing the world. That's when you start saying to lawmakers, this is what it is. This is how we want it done. And we're going to vote you out if you don't do that.
That's a great point.
Correct.
Now, Catasia, I think we should talk about commitment. In this movement, you have fly-by-nighters, people who come, make an appearance, march, but don't really want to do the work. They want to show up for press conferences or TV time, but they don't want to really work in the community. Catasia, you made a great point when you said, you sleep, we don't. So this requires you to do a little bit more.
Sorry.
Right? This requires you to do a little bit more to show your commitment, not to us, not to Hawk Newsom, not to Elucia, not to Kamla, but to us, right? right? Like it's to the people. So what do you say to those people who want to be involved, that don't really have time? How can they maximize their impact on this movement?
My thing is, don't forget where you came from. I'm blessed. A lot of us are high off of misconception. A lot of people forget where they come from. We have to, in order for you to walk into a bank and be approved for a mortgage, the same way our counterparts are approved, and it not take 6 months, we have to work together. Because a lot of my people and friends, they're on that level. They're not really thinking about, oh, the people in the corner in the Bronx, they high, they did this, something happened to them. That's not exactly what it is. We have to take a step back to understand how we've made it so far individually, and also take a look at our community as a whole. We can't really advance to the point that we want to advance if our people are still way back here and behind us. Everything is interconnected. So I came to a point where I realized that. I'm blessed. I have a fairly decent life, but I need my neighbor
Yes.
to have the same,
Yes.
or to have more than me.
Yes.
I need my generations to come
Yes.
to continue to move forward.
Yes.
You know, I don't want to sound corny or cheesy, but I keep coming back to Dr. King and the old civil rights movement. And on Dr. Martin Luther King Day this year, I said, wow, this man gave his life for me. Someone he did not even know. I wasn't even in the room yet.
Right.
So we can no longer take this for granted. Civil Rights Act only happened how many years ago? This was just around the corner. We're not that far away. But we've received some benefits that make us feel okay, make us feel good and feel safe.
It's a new drug.
Right on.
Sedative.
You know?
Sedative.
But the way the law enforcement keep dropping down our black men, shooting them down, killing them, and getting off, you have to stop and think, whoa, wait a minute. Something is not right here. Something ain't right.
I mean, I stopped driving when I heard about Sandra Bland. I didn't want to be in a car. I'm done with cars. I don't want to drive because I know me, my voice. I might come off, oh, you know, she's giving me a hard time. I'm not trying to die. I'm not trying to die. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not trying to die, and I'm serious about that. I'm not trying to be killed. I'm not trying to die. I'm not trying to be snatched. I really want to be safe, and the safety has to feel, I have to feel safe walking down the street. You know, when I wear this, I don't know, something about it. When people see me, they smile. When they see me, they go, right on, or thank you so much. And I don't know where the thank you's coming from, but I know that there's something about it that makes me feel empowered. And I realize that with all the things that I've been given in this world and been blessed with and protected by, because Lord, we've been protected, that I need to do something. I need to use all those resources, great schools, great background, great masters, you know, great people around me, and figure out how to bring my great people to a great movement so we can make greater change.
And I think that's the perfect end point. I'm Hawk Newsome. This is Black Lives Matter New York. We'll see you in the streets. We'll see you in the courtrooms. We'll see you in the boardrooms. We're here to fight oppression every step of the way. If you want to find out how to help, join us on Facebook, Black Lives Matter of Greater New York, Instagram, BLM Greater NY, that's on Twitter as well, or at our website, Black Lives Matter Greater NY. Black Lives Matter Greater is spelled out, NY is the abbreviation, .com. Thank you for joining us. Power to the people.